Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and I thought I'd take you on a little e-bike ride with me this morning, because there was some construction going on that I haven't shown on my YouTube video before, so I thought maybe you'd be interested in taking a look at how they're paving a road, or street, I should say, over in the housing development. So we're going to go over and take a look at that, and then while we're on our way, I'll tell you a story. And this is a story that goes back way back when I was in junior high, and follows through all the way up and to where I was married to my wife, who is actually my second wife because I had gone through a divorce. So we'll get started. When I was in junior high, I had a paper route, and so I had some spending money, and I know sometimes when a bunch of us guys would get together and somebody'd have some cigarettes or something, we would find some place around a corner where nobody would notice us, in an alley or something, and we'd light up a cigarette. And of course, the one thing you learn right off the bat is you don't inhale, because then you end up choking and almost vomiting all your food up. So we went through that phase, I guess you could say. But also, I lived it was like downtown Seattle. By the way, if you're new to my channel, I've been going through some stories of my life. I'm 80 years old, and so this is one of those stories. So anyway, I lived might as well say downtown Seattle. It was about a 20-minute walk down to the center of Seattle. And so I had paper routes, and I had extra spending money. Well, I lived on Capitol Hill, and up on 15th Avenue, there was a dime store. Now, they don't have dime stores anymore, but they did back then. And they called it a 10-cent store, dime store, and everything in there was, something a kid could afford, almost, I suppose. So I went in there, and they had corncob pipes. Now, they weren't made to be used, but they had everything you needed to be a real pipe. Now, my dad smoked, and so, that's why I got kind of the idea. And so I thought, okay, I'm gonna get me a pipe. And then one of the things I did was I didn't have any tobacco, so the leaves that fell off the maple tree in front of our house, I'd crunch them up, the dry leaves, and put them in there and try to light it up. And and here's the construction site. You can see there's what we called them steamrollers when I was a kid, but anyway, a roller to roll down the asphalt. And there's a truck up there dumping asphalt into the machine that lays it out on the roadway. So anyway, I got my, I tried to smoke, and the maple leaves, they weren't very good. They tasted terrible, or the smoke did. And but I wanted to try something. So one of the things that worked, which was crazy, was I would take some string off of a roller string and wad it down into the pipe and pack it in there, and then do the same thing you would do with tobacco, and I'd get the string going. And of course, it was hot, but it was like, it made smoke, and so I thought I was pretty cool. Well, so I kept that pipe, and I hid it. I didn't want my mom and dad to know that I was smoking a pipe. So I hid it in the back of one of my drawers in my desk in my room. And one day my mom was cleaning in there or something, and she found it, and she left it there. And then when nobody else was around, she said, "I see you have something up in your drawer in your room, and I think you should probably get rid of it." And that's how she handled it, which was pretty good, because then the next chance I had, I took it and I actually buried it in a little flower bed on the way as I was walking to school. So anyway, that was my experience of smoking, my first experience. And so then, and I didn't really have any desire to smoke after that. And but if in one of my previous videos, I was telling about how I lived in a mouse and rat infested apartment on the waterfront in Bellingham, Washington, while I was going to college. And I had a banjo, and so then I had some friends that played music. So then they'd come over every once in a while, and we'd have what they called a hootenanny back in those days. And we had guitars and banjos and harmonicas, and I can't remember. Oh, one guy had a mandolin. Anyway, so we'd get together, on a Saturday night or something. Well, one of those times, this guy, when we got through and we were taking our little break, well, he sat back and he had this pipe, which was about a foot long, and he had some tobacco, and he sat relaxed, and I looked at that pipe, and it reminded me, and it still does, I can still see the picture. It was probably something at Christmas with Santa Claus sitting in a chair it was an old man, heavy-set man with a white beard, and sitting in a chair with his little thin glasses, and he was he was smoking a long pipe like that. And I thought, that's kind of cool. I'm going to have to find me a pipe like that. So I went, first chance I got, back then they had smoke shops. And up there in Bellingham, Washington, they probably had 2 or 3 of them. And that's where you bought tobacco and cigarettes and stuff. They didn't necessarily sell it at the grocery store. And by the way, back then, there comes a man walking by. Good morning. And so back then, a parent could send their little child to the store to buy cigarettes for him because, it was really a free country back then. Anyway, and so I went to all the smoke shops and I couldn't find that long pipe. But now I had decided now I think I'm going to go ahead and start smoking a pipe. So I bought myself a pipe and some tobacco, and actually I got into the habit. In fact, I even inhaled a pipe. A lot of guys don't inhale their pipe, but I did. So anyway, so I got used to smoking, and I had that habit for a long time. Well, it was really nice. Like when I had my sailboat, one of my most favorite thing to do was when there was just a light breeze, I'd have somebody else steer, and like after dinner or something, I'd take my cup of coffee up on the front deck and sit back and with my pipe and my coffee and just enjoy myself. And I felt like I was king of the world, So anyway, and I tried to quit a few times and it never worked. Well, I went through a divorce, and then a year or so later, I married my sweetheart that I'm married to now, and I was a Christian, but I wasn't I wasn't really on fire for the Lord. But we decided we started going to church, and we went to this Baptist church, and of course they were preaching against smoking and stuff. And so one I don't remember what one service it was, but I was kind of convicted about smoking because it's not good for your body and stuff. So I told my wife as we were sitting one evening or something, and I said, you know what, I think I'm going to quit smoking, and I've tried, and what I'd like you to do is to sometime, and I wasn't real serious, but I thought, sometime when I'm not around, I had a collection of several pipes, including my foot-long one. I said, just throw those pipes away, thinking that, she wasn't even paying attention. So anyway, and I was addicted to it. And so that was all I said. And so Monday morning or whatever it was, I got up and I got dressed and shaved and got ready to go to work. And at that point in time, I was teaching school. And so I I finished my breakfast, got my cup of coffee, and went and sat down in my favorite chair, which had a little table sitting by it with all my pipes on it. I sat down, reached over for one of my pipes. They were all gone. And I this mean woman I'm married to, she had gone out in the middle of the night and broken them all in half and thrown them into the dumpster outside our apartment, and without me knowing about it. So I said, honey, where's my pipes? And she said, you asked me to throw them away. and I threw them away. So anyway, that's the story of how I was smoking in my lifetime. And I wouldn't recommend smoking to anybody. I haven't smoked since then. And, it's not a sin like the Baptists were saying, but it's not good for your body. And not only that, but years later, my teeth started falling out where I was holding the pipe in my mouth, because I held it in my mouth while I was working and everything. So anyway, that's my story. And as I head home, I want to thank you for listening and watching my videos, and God bless.